Hi guys. First of all, the housekeeping. I'm smoking my um, Parker, I think it is. Yeah, Parkers of London, black, um, whatever it is. And in it I've got Dunhill early morning pipe. I'm posting again because I promised that I would do a call out for somebody today. I know that somebody else has already done the call out, Crosby's Corner, but I felt that I needed to as well because I'd said that I would. And somebody else asked me whether I would read something, whatever it was, Shakespeare or something else. So I'm going to read one of my own stories. It's very short, it's about a surgeon. But first of all, the call-outs. One is to Dirty Boots, and one is to Canine Piper. These guys both deserve following and subbing to give them encouragement, but Canine Piper especially. I know he's been working very hard. His dad had an accident just recently, and he's had to move in and help with the family firm, and has been working all the hours and finding it quite difficult, I think. But not only that, I think he's been feeling a bit down about the sites and a bit confused as to what he should do. And I'd hate him to close it down. So I'm another one that's begging you to go and give this guy a sub and go and listen to some of the things he has to say. You know, sometimes with a community like this, it's possible to see what other people are doing and hearing all the things they're doing and feeling that somehow you're missing out somewhere, you're not doing the right thing, or you're not quite part of it yet. So I'd be very grateful for this shout out to Canine Piper. Right. The story. I run a writing group, and we have to do, I make them write for about 10, 12 minutes, 15 minutes with a title. And this was just The Surgeon, I think I called it. So I'm going to read it. It's a bit bloody, but not too bad, I don't think. As the dead body was taken from the theatre, the surgeon, Mr. Sinclair, addressed the ranks of observers who had gathered to watch the operations. Some were medical students, but many were the dilettantes who were interested in anything scientific. Gentlemen, our next patient is a young factory worker who was unfortunate to get crushed between the wheels of a spinning jenny. The injuries to her leg are so severe, I will amputate above the knee. He continued, please be as quiet as you can when the young girl's brought in. He turned to his assistants and nodded. They quickly and quietly left the room and returned with the sobbing girl and laid her on the table. The assistants tightened the straps holding her on the table, leaving the crushed leg free. Sinclair spoke to her, his voice confident and kind. Now, my dear, keep your bowels open and trust in God, and it will quickly be over. With that, he turned to the small table beside him and placed the saw between his teeth. Taking the curved fleshing knife, turned to his work. An assistant had taken the girl's leg and held it over his arm, and held it firmly. Sinclair quickly placed his arm under the leg so that the knife was curved under her leg. He made one quick cut in one move, circled the leg and down to the bone. As he did so, the high-pitched scream began. He dropped the knife and grabbed the saw and made 5 quick strokes and cut through the bone, and the leg was off. The girl, mercifully, had fainted. As he took one of the threaded needles from his coat collar and began to close the veins and the arteries, when he had finished, he took the flaps of flesh and stitched them over the wound. The girl was starting to come round, and he stared into her eyes, seeking her forgiveness. "It's all over, my dear." As the assistants gently lifted her onto the trolley, she quietly whispered, "Thank you, sir." The porters took her to the recovery ward. From her entry into the theatre and the time she left, 11 minutes had passed, probably the longest 11 minutes of her life. Sinclair turned to the observers and bowed to the cheers and applause of the crowd. Sinclair said, "Gentlemen, the surgeon needs the heart of a lion, the strength of a bull, and the skill of a seamstress." With that he left the theatre and entered his dressing room, where he threw up over the floor. Trembling, he took a decanter, poured a glass of fortified wine and drank it in one gulp, and wiping his hands down his blood and vomit-stained coat, made his way to the wards. I don't know what you think of that. It's the way it used to be, really. But I really enjoyed being part of the writers' group and working with them and helping them to develop their skills. I'm going to end with a joke. A woman asked a general in the army the last time he had made love to a woman. The general stood tall and said, 1956, ma'am. The woman, taken back by his answer, said, 1956? That long? Let me make your night better. And the two sauntered away to a private room. The woman began to strip, and the two made passionate love for an hour. The woman cuddled up to the army general afterwards and said, "Well, you sure haven't forgotten anything since 1956. The general looked at her confused and said, "Well, I sure hope not. It's only 21:30 now."